What's going on, Dolphins fans? I'm Connor from the Dolphins Dive, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over if the Miami Dolphins should look to sign running back Derrick Henry. Before I give my thoughts on this topic, comment down below before I even give any information if you want to see the Dolphins make this addition or not. But without further ado, I'm going to hop right into today's video, starting about Derrick Henry, the football player, where he's at in his career, and what kind of skills that he would provide for the Miami Dolphins. And Derrick Henry is more so the same kind of player he's been his entire career. He's a massive running back that has pretty solid straight line speed. He has to kind of get 2 to 3 yards of running before he can really start taking off and become a dangerous runner. But the key emphasis for most teams when facing him is stop him in the backfield, make him stop his feet, and that's kind of where he gets cooked. And that's kind of where combining him to the Miami Dolphins is a very scary proposition, because a lot of what the Dolphins do now, he would have to go east-west, so he'd have to go lateral. So I don't know exactly how that blends with his skill set, but in terms of the Dolphins give the running backs a lot of space before they face contact. It's just more so lateral than vertical. So I'm just curious how Mike McDaniel might envision him in this offense, but I feel like the combination of his extreme physicality and the threat of him, because all it takes is one carry for Derrick Henry and he's running 80 yards for a touchdown. Similarly to Tyreek Hill, all it takes is one pass, one mistake in coverage. So having that high level threat in the backfield combined with the high level threat of Tyreek Hill is honestly such a fun proposition for this team. I'm getting in my bag! Once again, how he fits in terms of this rushing offense, I can't fully project. That'd be more of a Mike McDaniel thing to know, because like I said, a lot of this offense, you go lateral before you go vertical, where I feel like most of what I know about Derrick Henry is he has to get vertical immediately. So that thing I'm unsure about, but aside from that, a lot of what the Dolphins faced this year were light boxes, and Derrick Henry versus light boxes would be an absolute menace to the rest of the NFL. And guess what? If they want to bring a safety down to help stop Derrick Henry, then you have Tyreek Hill over the top. If they want to keep the safety back, then you have Derrick Henry running right through them. So the proposition of him on this offense is extremely fun to think about. Like I said, my only question mark is how he actually fits with the zone running scheme in terms of, and once again, it depends what kind of scheme Mike McDaniel wants to throw out there. If we acquire Henry, then I'm sure he'll change up some of the style of runs we run, because a lot of last year, like I mentioned, was getting outside the tackles, and maybe that fits Derrick Henry, but I feel like most of what I know about him is him lining up under center, getting the ball, and then just running straight. But once again, I could be ignorant, but it should be interesting to see how Mike McDaniel handles that. So we went over Derrick Henry, the player, and obviously we all know how good of a player he is. Now we're going to be going over some of the numbers and if it's worth bringing him into the Miami Dolphins. So I'm going to start with his projected contract, which is a 2-year, $18 million deal, $10 million guaranteed. So basically, not very expensive for the type of player he is. And say in year one he doesn't fit, he sucks, you could basically cut him, and only half of the money would be guaranteed for the next year, or however the Dolphins would like to structure it. But it's not a big risk for the kind of player you're bringing in, because he is, I believe, 29 years old now. So the contract isn't even that scary. You don't have to trade to acquire him. So if, once again, that big question mark, if Mike McDaniel perceives him as a scheme fit in terms of the running style, that contract is a very good deal. Now, in terms of is it worth it, the Dolphins' current running back room consists of Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, and Chris Brooks. So it's a very good backfield already. So on paper, this is a luxury addition. The Dolphins don't need this player. The only thing is Derrick Henry is a different kind of player than Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, who, although I want to give a lot of props to Raheem Mostert, who's run very physical of late, but Devon Achane's very much so just a speedy kind of guy. I don't know if we can trust giving him more than 10 touches a game because of his thin frame. Mostert definitely has shown he can handle more of a workload of late, but Derrick Henry is a guy that you know can get 20 carries a game, and he has that threat in the fourth quarter of wearing defenses down and running right through them. And that thought of being able to wear defenses down, we don't currently have. So although we have a loaded backfield, Derrick Henry provides something different. Now, is it worth paying him $9 million a year when you already have a good group of guys? That's a big question, especially with the current status of the Miami Dolphins and where we have holes, I don't know if it makes the most sense to spend $9 million on a running back when we need 2 guards and we need a center. We need some holes filled on defense. So it's more of a luxury addition, but the luxury may be worth it because of that boom that he can provide. More of a thunder lightning combining him with Tyreek. So now on to my thoughts on if the Dolphins should make this move. And heading into making this video, I felt very strongly that this was going to be a no. But as I wrote my thoughts down, as I thought through it, I changed my mind into a yes. I would like the Dolphins to go out and sign Derrick Henry because of that thunder and lightning ability, because you really put defenses into a bind. Yes, we had a good rushing attack last year, but a lot of it was very gimmicky in a way in terms of just getting to the outside and speed. And then good teams were able to stop it, and we really didn't have that good of a rushing attack towards the end of the season. Where Derrick Henry comes into places, you have to be willing to stick to the run. In some games, you're going to run for 25 times, and you only need to throw it 10 times. Like, I'm fine with that. Chew the clock, have that workhorse that has that high upside. If they want to roll safety down, then you have Tyreek or Waddle over the top. If they want to keep him back, then you just pound the ball with Derrick Henry. Obviously, Mike McDaniel's shown unwillingness to do that, but maybe with a bigger 250-pound running back who's built like a defensive lineman, he'd be willing to do so. So I changed my mind from a no to a yes on this maneuver. I really would like to see Derrick Henry as a Miami Dolphin. Like I said, the trade-off of then you lose the assets to allocate elsewhere. I'm happy with our backfield, but this is a luxury addition I think would be worth it for the Miami Dolphins. Those are my thoughts. Comment your thoughts down below on if the Dolphins should sign them. Appreciate you guys for watching. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow. And until next time, fins up.